JuiceboxTalk. It's time for the quarantini number. We've almost done the exact amount of quarantini podcasts as we have in-person podcasts. Is that crazy to you?
Matthew, what do you look like?
Well, you can see me.
No, I can only see you from the waist up. How are your legs doing?
They're pretty good. Right now, they're Mickey Mouse pajamas.
They're just like this.
I reach over, grab them.
Oh, they're cool.
But yeah, it's that time of the week for us. Yeah, that's a very interesting statistic that I just thought about, that we've done almost as many podcasts quarantini as we have in person, because I think by the time we hit our year mark, we'll have done just as many quarantini, because we started this in December and then March was when quarantini happened. December, January, February, March, April, not April, March. So yeah,
the point is, I still got that.
Actually, point is, I have COVID. I'm actually pretty sure we've actually done more quarantini than we have without, which makes my boom arm purchase my best purchase.
It.
Because it's actually super nice to be able to move it however we want. We're actually recording a little bit later than we usually record. Not that it's even that late. It's 9:30.
It looks like it's midnight. I sound old, but it's like the sun goes down and I'm like, hey kids, time for bed. And then I look and it's like 4:45.
And it's also cold. Like the cold also just makes you tired. It like makes you want to.
That's true.
It's because, like, to me, it's because I get in a blanket and then I'm all nice in my blanket and then I get tired like a old person nodding off.
Me too. I'm in my house chunkless with some socks and I'm just like on the sofa.
Yeah, you easily fall off. But we just got done listening to our Governor Herbert address the state,
the county,
address whoever wants to listen. And it was funny because in the middle of him talking, it cut to the alert saying he was about to give a talk. So he was like, okay, we have 4 things. 1, a statewide mask mandate. We've already had that. Essentially, he's just saying.
Did you hear that, Southern Utah? You bunch of fucks.
Essentially, he was just saying, hey, you fucks, it doesn't cut off oxygen. Stop being a bitch and put a mask on.
Yeah, it's just like
I want to meet those people that use that excuse. That's a hilarious excuse.
I've met some of them before.
When I wear a mask, I can't think because it cuts the oxygen to my brain.
I'm just like, dude, you work at Taco Bell. How much thinking do you need? Shell, meat, cheese.
It's more complicated than that. You have to count scoops. I mean, explain to me how much a pinch is. Go ahead, try.
It takes a pinch. Look, it's audio. Can you hear that? I was just before I left my job, I worked at FedEx and I was a belt puller inside one of the big hubs and stuff, and I was the only one there that would wear a mask. My boss would try it on and off, but he would just give up because he just like, it got my way. I couldn't. He wore glasses like me, but he didn't wear contacts, and he didn't get like the fog things on it, so it would like. Anyways, some of the people there were like, I don't wear a mask because it's I can't breathe with it. And I looked at some of the new guys that was like the new people saying that. And it's always the same type of person. They're like beyond pudgy, but not morbidly obese. And they're like just wearing shorts all the time and like really big t-shirts to try to cover their like extra thickness.
Their chub.
And yeah, and I was looking at them and I'm like, I pulled the belt for 5 hours with the mask on. And I'm doing just fine. And he's like, that's different. I'm just, how? I'm literally doing more work than you. I'm looking at your load rate. You got a 150. It needs to be 300.
Yeah, I don't really understand when people say like that. Like, we have to wear it at the gym, and the only exception is like for like if you're running or using any kind of cardio equipment, which makes that's fine. They space out the machines anyway, so it's like you're not looking to the left and coughing on, so that's whatever. But
On
yeah,
your
it's like
left.
it's like the only annoying thing is like when you suck in, the mask comes in, but that's literally the only annoying thing about wearing a mask.
You like eat a little bit of the mask every time. Yeah.
It's like you breathe in and it's like and
Damn
then the
it.
mask just like
Yeah.
flattens to your face.
That's true. I have my stance mask, so it doesn't feel as bad because their fabric is very soft.
Yeah, I need to get one of those nice
Just
ones.
not being paid. That's just like buy a stance mask. They're great.
Well, like the night, so like essentially all he said was wear a mask if you go into any kind of businesses. Um what else did he say? Oh, you all sports are postponed for the next 2 weeks unless you're a high school football player or you play in college. Which
Which
is
I don't
funny because
understand either. It's
he
just
he
like,
went he went through this entire preamble about the health and like how the age group of 18 to 24, they go out, they party, they go to these events, and then
they're the reason why it's driving this.
students have not been getting it in class. They've been getting it at these extracurricular
Yeah.
activities, which is funny because it's like, of course, because they're not going to socially distance when they're with their friend outside of school.
Yeah.
So rather than him say, you know what, let's just cancel all of it, just postpone all of it, that'll be fine. No, it's okay. All of it's postponed unless it's the high school playoffs, which everyone's going to go to because guess what? Everything else is closed.
Yeah, it's like
So
there's
of
nothing else to
course
do in this house.
everybody's going to
So
go to
yeah,
it.
I'm gonna be watching the football game.
Yeah, it's like why wouldn't I go? I can't go to anything else. There's no other sports.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I understand this whole like everything like you can't have now we can't have anyone over unless it's like did he give a new number or is it just household only?
It's he didn't say you can't because that like
Okay.
the important thing to remember here is without getting like political or anything into it, a state can't, the government cannot tell you what you can and can't do on your own property. Just like if there's a war going on, they can't take over your house and
Yeah.
then force entry. That they cannot do something with your property. So essentially our with our state being so Republican run, all he can say is limit it to just your house for the before he gave it until the day before Thanksgiving so they can at least try to get some things in place because the last thing he said was he's going to ramp up testing, which is awesome, of course. So he was just saying that he wants to so limit any kind of social thing to only your household. So but he can't say hey you can't go over to
Yeah.
like you can't like if you do it you do it, nothing much that he can do about it. But if you have like did you hear that story in the news? These people had like this giant party somewhere in like West
There's a
Jordan
couple of
or
one
like
that
West Valley or
no.
some shit. It was like some kind of like actual business organized a party that they should have known better. That you're supposed to get a permit and the permit's supposed to be like, okay, we'll make sure everyone gets tested, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
to put you so that way you can't just like have a party and then have a super spreader event because you shouldn't be able to have those either. But like what people have a hard time understanding is you can't go onto like parks and like take over a pavilion because that's not public property, which is confusing to most people because it's like the park is public property.
Yeah.
But if you use the pavilion, that's not public property.
Yeah,
They
that's
let you
not.
use it
Yeah.
because but if nobody's reserved it, they just let you use it. But you can't throw a party there because that's not public
Yeah, it
property.
doesn't work like that.
So it's you he said just limit it to inside your house, which everybody should have been doing anyway. But at the same time, we've been going through this since March. So it's kind of hard to say, it's kind of hard to constantly tell people, hey, you need to stay inside because like one of two things are going to happen. They're either like depression's going to go up. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about the side of actually following the what the guidelines are. Like
Yeah.
depression's going to go up. Like everybody in the family is going to be depressed. You're telling me like a kid not going to school, that kid's not going to get depressed?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That means
exactly.
that the only people that they interact with are their parents.
Yeah, Sydney hasn't been to school since last whenever school ended last
Yeah, and
whenever the school thing ended like that. So
you can't say
yeah.
that doesn't affect a child to not be around other people their age.
Yeah, exactly. I mean Amelia's she's not anywhere near I think 2 years is when she can start going to school, but it's just like she's inside all the time, and it's just no one ever wanted to go to get the mail with me. I was always the one getting the mail, and it's to the point now where it's like everyone in the family comes with me to the mailbox.
That's
The
hilarious.
girls like shit their pants, and it's like taking them to the circus. And I'm just like, I feel so bad because it's just, we have a park right next to us. We really, the age of white people are like, we're not telling you not to go on it, but we're also not going to be cleaning it. And if you do get sick and something happens, you can't blame us because this is on you, but you can stare at it, or you
Well,
can hang out on the grass.
the important thing to remember is with parks, as long as you go in the daytime, it does the virus does die within like I think a couple seconds of contact with the sun. So as long
Yeah, so it's
as
just,
but I imagine like even if they say there's still probably a lot of people there. So if there's people there, I still wouldn't go. So I mean
yeah, I'm
I
not
see
afraid
your
of like, yeah, I'm not afraid of like the park itself having it. It's just like there's so many people
yeah.
around us that don't wear masks.
So
They're
it's like
just
yeah,
anti.
I can absolutely see that
Yeah,
point.
and I'm like, kids, I don't know why it took so long for this part to go inside, like this actual news, not being political, but kids carry disease like rats. Every time during the fall, I would get a flu and it would last between like November to about February and it would like stop. And then Sydney would get some other weird plague from school and then give it to me.
Mhm.
So it was just like, okay, well, if kids are that easy to get sick, even though they do recover from this, no one's going to think, hey, maybe kids and this kind of stuff can help spread this. And then at the very beginning, kids can't get COVID. It's no. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would just,
Yeah,
oh,
well,
you're under
it's
the age of 8? And it's
like
just,
we were talking about, like it's crazy to think that like any kind of gathering, no matter who you side with politically, any kind of gathering, like what are you doing?
yeah,
Like people are like, okay, but right now is either like I'm angry, so I don't want to wear a mask, or I'm happy and I don't want to wear a mask, and it's like yeah, when it first came out, they were saying like certain age demographics couldn't get it, and it's like, dude,
yeah.
what are you saying? And the
I'm
crazy
just
part
like,
is
how?
it was like Dr. Fauci saying, it, and it's like,
Yeah, it's just like all
doctor, that
these.
doesn't. I don't mean to tell you your business, but that doesn't sound
Yeah,
right.
I'm not saying I'm anywhere near your expertise, but it's just like every plague that has ever happened that would cause this kind of stuff, it spread because the close contact with people to each other. And it's not like it just floats in the air and then it just
It picks and
targets
chooses.
some.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not, it doesn't do that. It's just like, okay, if you get sick, then I'm going to get sick if I hang out with you. And I may get sick. I might not. I don't know. I want to go to work without a mask and I'm going to cough and touch my hands and my face. And it just, I don't know. But the thing is, it's just like we haven't seen each other since June. I think that's the longest we've ever not seen each other, whether it's like meeting at mom's house or like just having lunch and shit. I mean, it sucks. You're the only person I like hanging out with outside of
yeah. It's
these
definitely
kids,
like
but
it's definitely a
it's
weird
shitty.
adjustment to the new normal, but at the same time,
Yeah,
it's one of those where it's like yeah, both of us know that we have people in our households that could be high risk because it's
yeah,
like, yeah, me and you would most likely get over it, but it's like
yeah.
okay, like I can say that for myself, but I can't say that for anybody else in my house.
Yeah, like I don't know, and it's just yeah, I don't know. It just sucks because it's like there's people that are listening to it to the T, and there's people that don't, and that's the reason why it's continuing on. And it's just like the people that have been doing this since the beginning of the lockdown are going insane. Like you said, they're getting depressed. They're just tired of being inside, not being able to do
Yeah,
anything.
and
And
it's
then it's
something as
just
simple as like you're saying, going to the mailbox is now a
yeah,
family affair.
it's just crazy. I'll try to videotape it and put it on the podcast or something. It's just like
That'd be hilarious.
yeah, mail time. It's like Blue's
It's
Clues.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like how excited we used to get watching
Yeah,
Blue's Clues or
yeah.
something.
It's
But
just
that to be fair, I do think that does have to play a role with Pokemon Go being resurrected like a phoenix from the ashes.
it really has. I even started playing it. This
I'm
is
debating starting
before.
playing it because like I'm in so many different areas that for work, I'm like walking to like house dropping off
Yeah,
packages. So I'd be like, anything here? No.
dude, I am totally jealous because I didn't even think about it from that point of view because there's a way. Anyways, before I go down that whole tangent, Pokemon Go, uh, it came out in like 2016, I think, and it was
Yeah.
all the rage. There was like car accidents that would happen. People were accidentally dying because of this
I
happened,
remember
and
hearing
it's
that they
just
had to like Pokemon Go
yeah,
had to release a statement saying don't play and walk at the same
yeah,
time because people would walk in the
yeah.
street
They would walk in
realizing
the
it.
street, and it's just crazy. And I
Imagine being
mean,
one of those idiots.
yeah, it's just like Darwinism always finds a way.
They
There's
would have
no way
definitely
you
died
can.
first from COVID.
Yeah. And it's just crazy that this game is taken off. I mean, I did play it a lot because we're from the Pokemon generation, like when there was the original 150 Pokemon. I don't know how many there are now, but
It was like
I
three,
started
some like
playing it.
almost 400.
There's more than that, I think. But um, I started playing it at the beginning of the pandemic because before like my health went to shit, I would run and I you can unlock or you get these eggs in the game that are like Pokemon things, but they're based off of distance. So if you're running, walking, that kind of stuff, it helps. It just you can unlock the egg and then it can have a Pokemon inside. It could be a good one, could be a bad one. You don't know until you unlock the egg. But also it has like these other achievements that you need to have by moving and stuff like that. You catch Pokemon. That's pretty like what the whole thing is. But certain places around town have Pokestops. You spin a little wheel. It gives you a Pokemon, or not Pokemon, gives you an egg to catch a Pokemon or Pokeballs, that kind of stuff. You can trade. You can fight other people. It's just it's like the card game, but digitized. But it's also using Google's Maps. I think it's using Google Maps. So it's one of the first apps that was made incorporating Google Maps as its like AR thing on it. So it's
Mm.
like if you have a phone with an AR or lidar thing on it, you can see the Pokemon in real time, like in the background of your image or something, or you can have it like a stale image where it's just like a generated background, and then the Pokemon you have to like catch stuff like that. But they're saying this year they made $1 billion, and it was just the game did die off. And I mean, I stopped playing it like a week after. I'm like, hey, this is fun. Okay, now I'm bored.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
And same thing, like you said, people are going crazy. People are isolated and they're just like walking and they're just playing Pokemon Go. And it's like the game is free, but there's things in the store you can buy that cost money. Like you can buy Pokeballs if you don't want to go to the Pokestops. You can buy like clothes for your character and stuff like that. There's weekly tournaments you could enter with actual money. You just get better Pokemon and stuff like that. But it's just like it's weird that all these things that sold out during the pandemic and then all these things that are taking off because of the pandemic too. And it's just like if you would have told me 4 years ago that Pokemon Go would have generated $1 billion, I would have called you a damn liar and kicked you in the nut.
That it's crazy, yeah, because it's yeah, since so the game was downloaded more than 500 million times by the end of its first year. So the end of 20 from July 6th, 2016 to the December, it was 500 million times it was downloaded worldwide. So it's like
Yeah,
obviously it's probably inching back up to that of downloads and re-downloads because like
yeah,
if you stop playing it, you would just get rid of it. One thing I remember is it ate the shit out of my battery, so that was one of the reasons I
yes,
deleted it. Is it like that's when battery packs started getting really popular because people would have the
yeah,
battery pack in their hand along with their phone plugged
yeah. They
in
would just
because
do
that
that.
thing would
Yeah,
melt your battery. No matter what kind of phone you had, it would just melt it.
yeah. It would just melt it, and yeah, it was. I forgot about the
I
battery
I
pack.
remember that, but yeah, they're saying yeah, it's so the reason for their over $900 million year is it's just crazy because that's not including what happened this year. like
Yeah, it's just
the almost a billion were the figures that they were taking from last year, which is in and itself insane. So I'm very anxious to see what their total spending will be from 2020 I want to isolate it just from lockdown to like the end of the year.
Oh, that's probably what I mean. That they did break numbers before. I forgot what it was. Like I said, there's like you could pay money for like this monthly thing, and it has like these challenges, almost like a battle pass type of thing from other games, and that's $20. And then there's just things you do. You can get shit inside the thing. I haven't
Yeah.
done that yet, but it's just I do know it's like a pack of 100 Pokeballs is like $10, I think, and then like you could buy them in smaller packs at about five, and then $20 for like that battle royale pack type of thing in the game. So it's just like
Adds up
it's
quick.
just I mean, yeah, $1 billion is a lot of zeros, but it's even more zeros when it's like, okay, Matt and Anthony just spent $10 a piece on
Mhm.
Pokemon Go this week.
And this
Oh,
is the
they
only thing
spent
you can
another
do
10.
because everything else is
Yeah,
closed, but you're allowed to walk around outside.
yeah, and it's just crazy because I remember when it came out too, like lots of doctors were like, "Yeah, play Pokemon Go because Americans are fat and it gets you moving." And again, I don't want to like put the correlation on people, but the people like adults that like Pokemon are kind of heavy set and don't like to. They're dew drinkers and they're Wrangler wearers, and it's just like, okay, go walk, go play Pokemon Go.
I feel like that's why it like died off is because they're like, you need to walk for this game? What
Yeah,
are
well,
you
it
talking
was
about?
because I remember if you remember this too, it's like people were getting hit and walking to their death or just like car crashes, but it's like a big thing was car crashes. People were playing Pokemon Go while car crash or like and then they'll get into car crash because like I said, some of the eggs are like distance based. So it's like you need to walk 10 kilometers. Oh, okay. That doesn't seem so far. Then you walk around the block and it's like a point 0.1 of a kilometer. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
if
I
I go
mean,
in my car,
we ran a 10K and it
yeah,
took us an hour.
yeah. And it's just and it's just like, oh, if I go in my car and I go 20 miles an hour, Pokemon Go registers it as me actually walking. So it's like, oh, I could just drive around and just stare at my or at my phone and just wait till my Pokemon pops out.
I want to meet
So
one of
it's
those
just
guys that got in the slow accidents because of it and just be like, how long were you staring at your phone, man? Like,
I
come
don't want
on.
to
Do
talk
you know
about it.
how long it takes to hit something going 20 miles an
Yeah,
hour? It takes a minute.
I just picture that scene from the first Austin Powers. That guy with the little
Oh yeah.
no, and
No.
then my mother's like, "Get out of the way!" And it just shows him with that little whatever it
Oh, I
is.
totally forgot about that scene.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't understand like how people
I mean, I don't spend lots of
just
money.
walk.
I'm just, yeah, I don't.
Just walk.
I'm not. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't spend a lot of money in the game. I think I spent maybe $50-ish, maybe since the start of the pandemic to
That is
now.
so much money that you just
Let
said.
me let me preface it again. Maybe, and that was just because it's like,
So let's just say like would you put your life that you paid at least 40?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Oh, I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying it's. I'm not as bad as the other. No, I am. I'm just letting you guys know that I gave Pokemon Go's parent company $40 or about it's 40 or 50 because that Gyarados came out, that Gyarados pack, and I had to get him by catching all those Magnacarps
I remember that.
and the Charizard that was just recently in Gengar was right before that, and I had to catch like you have to catch like 100 Pokemon to like evolve it to like the total number of evolves, if that makes sense. Because I know Pokemon have different forms of evolution and stuff like that. So it's like if you want Raichu, you have to collect like 50 to 75 Pikachus to evolve it to a Raichu. So yeah, I'm just digging myself deeper into this nerd hole.
You
Fuck you
are.
guys.
So, were you ever a fan of camping out in front of a store to get an item that you liked? So, those take like a Black Friday or yeah, Black Friday sale. Were you ever a fan of, oh, they have something on sale and I want to be the first to get it because once they're out, and you know that they'll be back ordered.
um, I actually have another story if we have time for it at the very end, but As of recently, yes, but there was only one time where I've done that before, and I was very upset because I didn't get it at first. And it was, do you remember when we went with mom to Target because my PlayStation, was it my PS3 or my PS4 that broke?
I think it was the PS3 because the PS4 would have been a lot later.
Okay, yeah. So it was like my PS3 broke, and I didn't have money for another one, and they were on sale for like $150. And we went to Walmart, and we like went to the very back, and you like made a wall, and I tried to grab the PlayStation, but they all sold out, and I was all cheesed. And then we went to Target, and it was like a civilized line, and we walked right in, and then we grabbed the PlayStation, and then we walked right
Mm.
out. So it was like, other than that, except for my other story, but it was just like I've never waited in line for. I just never saw a thing for it. I don't know about you, but I've never. I'm like, yeah, it's back ordered. It's gonna come back, even if it was a last of or one of one. I'm like, I don't want it that much, and if I did, I would need a stupid amount of money, so I would pay like some monkey to go wait in line for me.
Yeah, I didn't even want to get the newest iPhone because I was like, oh, yeah, I'd get like the iPhone 12 Pro. That'd be pretty cool. But it like, okay, well, pre-orders aren't until like now. And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to wait, so I'll just stick with my phone."
Yeah,
I'm like, I'll
I'm
just
like,
stick with my phone,
no.
and I like my phone, so I'm good.
Yeah, that's
Because I'm just like,
yeah.
it's one big reason why pre-COVID I never used Amazon because I'm like, that's just stupid. I'm just gonna go and you know
Yeah, I hated
buy the
ordering
thing.
things online. I like going and seeing it in
Yeah,
person and like tinkering with it and be like, I know I could return it, but 75 or to $150 for whatever I'm buying is a lot of money, especially if it gets damaged en route. But it's just like, if I don't like it, I can still return and get my money back. But at the same time, it's like I'm out about 2 to 3 weeks without $150 while it's in this like purgatory
yeah,
QA return. And on top of that, sometimes they have like a restocking fee where it's like, okay, there's a camera I want. I'm gonna rent it, or I'm gonna go to Best Buy and shoot a couple of pics with it. Okay, I think I could see myself liking this.
yeah. I've never been that like the I need to have it that day. So, and I guess it works out with the whole pandemic and cases going up, but Best Buy announced that they're only doing next gen, both PS5 and Xbox Series. They're only doing them online. So
Yes,
that's
which I don't
to
understand. I guess it's
I
because
do
they don't
because
have enough quantity to like for the store, so they could just have it in one big warehouse and then just
I think
Amazon
that
ship it
that
out.
probably plays a part in it, but I think the biggest thing is COVID.
That's true. I totally forgot because
I
we were
would
just
say
talking about
it's
the pandemic.
yeah, I would say it's both because two things. One, cases are up everywhere, and two, they have less systems because less were made and sent to the US.
Yeah,
So to me, it is both. It's like, yeah, this is such a hot item that we don't want people camping in front of our stores because chances are that if they're sick, they're not going to be like,
yeah.
guess I can't get it.
Oh
No,
well, yeah.
they're
No,
gonna
they're
go
like,
online anyway.
I'm gonna go and get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Because also that, uh, if you remember, we talked about it. Like, I forgot how many episodes ago, but PlayStation, if you put in your PSN, they would send you the link before like everything like
Yes.
went to shit, and it was just like I waited in line for that. Like I put my name and my PSN name on that thing so I can like they would send me an email, and I had the money for it. I'm like, I wish you would have just you could have had my money. So I'm like, I would have waited for that, but waiting in line, uh,
Like I would understand like if they did the waiting as far as like okay, we'll send you an email and you have 10 minutes after that email and then just keep doing
yeah,
waves of that and if you miss the 10 minutes, you miss the 10
it was
minutes.
like,
You'll
okay,
have to wait
put your name
until
again. Yeah, put your name in again, and if we get to that at that point,
yeah.
yeah. If
So,
not, sorry, dude.
Best Buy announced that you can still place pre-orders over the phone. They go on sale next week, November 12th.
Yeah, they're coming out really quick. That's
So that's but yeah, they're saying it's not going to be available to walk-in customers till 2021 at the earliest, and I assume they mean mid 2021 because there's no way it
Yeah,
would
when
be,
they're
oh, in January you can get it in person, because no,
yeah
they're still going to
no
be backward.
because it's just it's just it's a hot thing. PlayStation, Xbox are putting all their money. I mean, it's the new console. They don't come out. They come out every 8 to 10 ish years or something like that. I mean, they do
Yeah.
have like the slim or like the redesigned, slightly different, cheaper, whatever versions of them. But if you do look at some Best Buys, like after the 12th or like on the 12th, and when you just go into those stores, they do have like a PlayStation and like an Xbox area that showcases the new system.
Yeah.
It is behind a little bubble, like a metal, or not metal, a plastic barrier, so you can't actually touch it and play it like you used to with like PlayStation at Walmart in like the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what it looks like. Can't touch it, but this is what it looks like. I mean, they have those, and they're gonna have those, but that's
Yeah,
about as
it's
close as you're gonna get.
speaking of, before I forget, I was gonna bring up the Switch, since we're talking about consoles. The Switch, so from the start of the pandemic till now, they made more money than they did at their launch because it's been such a hot product. And Animal Crossing made an ungodly amount of money because
You're
the
welcome, Tom DeLonge.
it's crazy because it's simple things that we were talking about. That dog face guy on TikTok that helped
Yeah,
boost Stevie Nicks' album that came
yeah,
out in the 70s, and he boosted sale of Ocean Spray.
yeah. Made Ocean
It's
Spray non-existent.
TikTok is such a powerful tool that when the pandemic first started, everybody was playing a Switch and
Yeah,
everybody was playing Animal Crossing. And so they're also benefiting from this, along with Xbox will, PlayStation will. There's no way that, like you're saying, these happen so these generations are every 10 years or so. They'll do a mid-generation jump, but that doesn't count. They're
yeah.
about every 10 years or so, 8 to 10 years. And it's
Yeah,
one of
like
those that
when did the PlayStation 4 come out? It was like
it came out like in 2013,
like it had to have been 2012 or 2013.
one of those two.
Let's see, with the
So
power of the internet.
yeah, it's
November 15th, 2013 is when it came out.
I
Oh,
remember because I had a PS3 and I rented a Blu-ray disc, and I realized my mistake when I got home to play it. And then I was like, I have enough money anyway, and I wanted to get a PS4 regardless. So then I went and bought a PS4.
that's fair. I just pulled the data purge and I'm like, well, does it have a Blu-ray player? Because that's the newest thing. Oh, and that plays games? Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And that
and
was before like Xbox was able to do that. They had like their HD DVD or some shit like
yeah,
that. They never took off.
and I still have the PS4. That's the
Yeah,
PS4
I'm
from
like,
launch. That's the first wave. That's the first wave PS4.
yeah. So it's just, yeah. I mean, it's a big deal for people that game. Whether you like, no matter what console you play, it's like a console drop. It's a console drop, so you can see either say my console's better than yours, or my console's better than yours. There's really no
Yeah,
like,
and I mean, just random things are selling out, like webcams. It took me forever to get even just a webcam.
yeah, webcams took off because everything went online for
Yeah,
work,
everything went online.
and
People
everyone
doing the
started an
yeah,
OnlyFans,
that's true.
and it's just like
By the way,
everyone
don't
streamed.
start an OnlyFans if you only have 12 pictures. By the way, what is that? What is
I'm
that?
sorry, I need more starfish pictures.
It's like, because you'll see on like TikTok, people are like, people will say all my links are in my bio, and then they have a link tree, and the link tree is like,
Yeah,
it's a link that people can then click on your Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that, Twitch, Discord. And then some people have OnlyFans attached to it, and
yeah,
they have like 5 pictures,
they'll have five,
and
and
it's
you
like
can't actually
$10 to
see them.
subscribe.
Yeah, you can't actually see them, and there's no rule against OnlyFans for like what you post on there. It's funny because there's this one person that I follow that she has an OnlyFans, but she doesn't post nudes. She posts pictures of her dog on it. It's a free OnlyFans, but it's just like everyone wants me to get an OnlyFans, and she said she did it, but that's what she did it as, and
That's
everyone
really
was all
funny.
just like, "What do you mean?" And it's like, it's in my bio. But it's just, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's its own tangent of if you're gonna start an OnlyFans, you can't just you have to go whole hog. You can't
yeah.
just post five
You
pictures and
have to
ask for
just
ten
do it.
dollars.
Yeah, you can't just do that. You can't charge a stupid amount and not have any pictures or post nudes. There needs to be a rule. It's like, I paid $50. You're gonna be going down the whole Bella Thorne route again.
That's the thing. They're gonna have to readjust their subscription.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like it took me forever to get a like I never figured out how to use my phone as a webcam, but apparently that's like they make like little holders that are like a little like a tripod that has a little thing for your phone, and some of them even have a nice little light on them to give you the halo lighting, but I've never figured out how to use those for that.
Yeah, it's crazy because everything with like a camera for the most part can be used as a webcam. My cameras can be used as webcams. They just needed a software update like through the computer to like make it compatible without having that relay card. But until now, it's a company called Elgato. If you guys know anything about like gaming and streaming and capture cards, they're the big innovators in that whole field of that kind of stuff. But they have an app on iOS, Android. It's $8 or it's free. But both of them, if you download it, it's free. Uh, it uses your phone as an actual webcam. It's awesome. It does only do 640 or 480 for the free version, but if you pay the $8, you get 1920 by 1080 for your like main thing. It's cool because, like you said, or webcams are gone for the most part. They come in, they sell out. This is just a good way to like, if you want to start streaming on a budget, you can use your phone to stream and have it on yourself instead of using a crappy camera. Or you are a streamer, you want a multicam setup, like Ninja, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tatman. They have just like you push a button and it like cuts to the side of this way or this or a top down thing like that. It's pretty cool for what it is. I think the free version also might have ads every now and then, kind of like
Mm.
Spotify, but still, it's like it's a free app that can give you 480 as an 480p, and I think that's is that DVD or is that VHS?
I feel like that would have to be VHS.
Okay, so it's just like even then, it's like okay. I mean,
But
most people
even
watch
then, like,
content on their phone, so
well,
it's just
like
like
even then, I mean, my webcam see like has me, but I condense it to a little corner
yeah,
in the
you have a
corner of my
little
screen.
yeah, you
So
have a little sharp square, so
yeah,
it's not
so it's
like
like
it's
it would I mean, mine runs 1080 and it looks like 4K because I just condense it into this little itty bitty part of my screen, and then
yeah,
the
you just
rest of
have
it's
this
just
little
focused on the game.
yeah, this little thing on it, so it's like it's awesome. I mean, the free version does have more than what I said, or like the free and paid version have more features and stuff like that. But it was just like it's super awesome for this company. Again, it's like they're the innovators and like the leaders in this field, and they do shit like this. So it's like they understand what the people want, and they're giving it to them, whether it's like free with ads or you just pay $8. And honestly, I paid more than that for my Pokeballs and Pokemon Go. So it's
You
not.
could have gotten
I could have.
you could have gotten four subscriptions to the premium.
Yeah, and I think it's a one-time payment for this thing too. So it's just like it's just
It's a crazy smart idea.
yeah, and it's also cool. I forgot to mention it's wireless or through with like a wire on it. So it's like you if you have an iPhone, the Lightning to USB, you plug it into the bottom of your phone, and then you plug it into your
That's
computer
a really
or
smart idea.
PlayStation. So it's like this. So you have almost like no latency. If you do have the wireless one, I think there might be some like latency issues on it just because it's like a wireless,
Yeah,
just wireless in general.
there
But it's
usually
not
is.
that big. It's not that big of a like a big moving distance thing on it. So it's just again awesome for beginning streamers, and I think it works. I think the oldest phone it works on for iPhone is like the 6 or the 6S.
Oh yeah, if you have a six, then
So it's
you
like,
need to
okay,
reevaluate your
yeah.
choices.
So I mean, it's just like, okay, well, I want to start streaming and I have an Xbox or a PlayStation, and or PC, and I want to like I need a stream of me. Go on eBay, pay 50 to $100 for a used iPhone 6s, and then just
Yeah.
plug it in, and that's my stream setup. Or you buy like a couple of them, and that's your streaming setup on it, because it's just like people like variety of different angles and stuff like that. So it's just
And for me, if you watch my stream, you get it just straight away.
you
So
get straight on,
you can
unless you
see my
subscribe. Unless you subscribe to Matt's OnlyFans,
then you
where
get the
he
crotch
has
cam.
the set. Yep. You don't even get all this up here. You get all this. You get full bush.
I paste them together so that way you can see you can see
You
both at
have
the
the
same
halo.
time.
You have the halo light just like right there.
I have the good lighting underneath.
Yeah, have the one right there. And then if you pay like 35 a month for my premium, you can see my starfish and the bottom of the rig. All for you.
I have 2 more angles that you get access to. But let's finish. But you recently your phone is on the way, but you have a fun story about how nice it is to upgrade your iPhone with T-Mobile.
Yes, I don't. I mean, this goes hand in hand with what we were talking about a second ago. I've never had to pre-order. I've really cared about pre-ordering anything, but new iPhones came out this year. We're pretty stoked because we're on T-Mobile. We have the Jump program. It's like you pay, I think, a year's worth of your phone payments, and then you could jump to the new phone. It's cool because if you want to like try new phones every now and then, you just pay the year up front or whatever that is, and you're able to jump. So Jessica has the iPhone 8. That thing is old as shit. I think it lasts till about noon and then it dies. So she carries like a battery pack or multiple battery packs. I have the XR, but the iPhone 12 came out when the pre-orders opened up. We both did a pre-order for it. I did the Pacific Blue. Jessica did the white or gold or whatever that color is.
Typical.
And yeah, we were all fine and dandy, and everything was grand. And then the next day, Jessica checked her email like right before the confirmation code started coming out, like this is when your box is going to get here, make sure you're there to sign for it, kind of thing. And they had our old address on it, which is weird because she checked mine. It had our current address, but it had Jessica's old address or our old address. And she called and she asked if they can change like the thing for it. And they're like, oh yeah, dude, that's fine. This happens. It's random, but computers, right? And they deleted her pre-order. So there's an extra iPhone 11 or an iPhone 12 somewhere, and it's just like it's just sitting there because it was going to go to Jessica, but it didn't come because the thing was wrong. She was upset, so she's like, okay, that sucks. I understand. Very upset. And she did another pre-order, and it's like, okay, it's not going to be here till mid-December. And this is like a few days after that first one. It was like pre-orders open, pre-ordered it, happened. Okay, a week later. Okay, now it's mid-December. And I was like, oh man, I don't want my phone before Jessica because I already have a newer phone compared to Jessica. And I'm like, just cancel mine because at first I offered her my phone and she would just have the blue and I would just wait for mine. And she's like, no, I'm okay. And I'm like, no, just cancel mine so that way you can have yours first. And I just, I, that, yeah. So she called and canceled mine, but the ding dong canceled both phone orders. So Jessica didn't have a phone, like another new thing. And they're like, oh, I thought you meant both. And she's just like, I said cancel the one phone order for the blue. Why would you do both? Can you undo it? And he's like, sorry, we can't do that either. And again, it was just like, this was 2 days before we were supposed to be getting them or like when they were shipping. She was furious. She was so upset. I think that was like the COVID thing that broke the camel's back. She's not normally an angry person, but I think just all the stress of everything happening and then it came out on the iPhones and it was just, I felt bad. I'm like, I shouldn't have canceled the pre-order because she would have got her phone the same time I did, or she would have got it like a week after me. And the new phone orders opened up on Friday, and the 12 Pro Max, they opened up 6 o'clock our time. And I was like, okay. I put an alarm and I woke up at like 5:50 ish, went to the T-Mobile website, had everything was fine. I waited till like 5:57, and then I like was scrolling down to the very bottom, and right when 6 o'clock happened, I wanted to just like hit the hit the button to just like, okay, great, everything's fine. You're getting your phone. This. It didn't happen. I hit it and it reset and it kicked me out, and I'm like, oh shit. Typed everything back in, hit pre-order button, nothing happened, and I was just, it was like maybe 6:15, 6:30. I'm like, you know what? This is too much for an iPhone. I'm going back to bed. Went to sleep, woke back up like around 8 or 9 ish or something like that. We did it again. It worked. It was just fine. Like the thing went through, and except for like the confirmation, like it had everything that signed, and it's like, this is your confirmation number, and it's like the 26 letters and weird symbols and stuff. It was a question mark, and that was, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it said we signed our paperwork and we have the new phone line, so it's just like we're getting the phone. And we waited a few hours, we called, waited a few days, and they're like, oh, yeah, sometimes randomly the computer will give you that question mark because too many people have signed in and like pre-ordered at once. So instead of giving you like an actual confirmation number, it just gave you that. So you don't actually have a pre-order for the new iPhone. And I was like, okay, I guess. And then we called the day later and they're like, okay, yeah, you're getting it now. So it's coming, hopefully, it's coming, I think they said the beginning of November, or sorry, the beginning of December, or maybe a week after. I don't know. They said it gets there when it gets there.
That makes sense. That'll get there when it gets there.
Yeah, and I was just like, that's just so least luck. Jessica's still not getting a phone. She wants the 12 because the 12 Pro Max is too big of a phone for her. She says she doesn't want to like, it's
It's a
just
big
too
phone.
big. It's a
Yeah.
big phone. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And she doesn't want the 12 because she wants the 12 Pro. And I'm like, you know what? If you want and you're paying for the phones, get the phone you want. And so we did try calling in like on launch day and just like, does anyone have any phones? Like, we'll take any of them. They're like, sorry, dude, we sold out like instantly. So they did say they're going to come in stock in January, like another big wave that would be like enough to help the masses and stuff like that will be coming out then. But it's like until then, maybe if we're lucky, we might get some random stragglers. But Apple gives out the phones to the company, like to the stores, in single digits or double digits, stuff like that. The majority of them are at the Apple store. So it's like you can for sure get one if you buy with cash at the Apple store. But it's like, if not, if you're going to go through us, it gets here when it gets here, but it's not going to come anytime soon. So that's why I was like, this is why we don't pre-order. We
Yeah.
never pre-order. This is what
I
happens when you pre-order, and it's
yeah,
just like,
I hate pre-ordering anything for that reason of like the
yeah,
smallest thing goes wrong and it just messes up the whole thing because it's like, yeah, if it's like the wrong color, you go to try to fix it and then it's like, oh yeah, sorry, no, you either have to get this color of this phone even though you didn't mean to click it,
yeah,
or it confirms the wrong memory size. Because like if you click a different color, it resets the memory to the
yeah,
lowest one, and you want the like 512.
yeah,
Then it's like, oh yeah, sorry. So if you want that, you're gonna have to wait an extra 2 months. And it's like,
yeah. Yeah, they did have the 512 for them. I forgot that, and it's like $1,300 or $1,400
yep,
for like the for that, and it's like that's in stock at the store, but it's like uh at T-Mobile for us, it's like $80 for the 128, and then it's like $200 for the 256, and it's like 300 or 400, or it's like I think it's $300 for the 512 that you have to put down to get to like the $30 a month. But it's
yeah,
just like we have the money for that, but it's just like
it's not
Christmas
worth
is so close
it.
that it's just like, and also Jessica doesn't use, yeah, it's not
Yeah,
worth it for her. She doesn't, she has the 64 gig, and she's using 40 gigs of it right now.
That's my exact situation.
And she's like, I don't want that because I don't need it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you use only 6, or how do you only use 40 gigs? I have 128 and I'm pushing close to 128 right
I think
now.
I have like 48 or 50 gigs used, and
Yeah.
mine's like just because it's music files and random accidental screen grabs.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't even know what mine it all even is. I mean, it has to be photos and video. I just have a shit ton of stuff. I have 80 gigs of Pokemon Go. Pokemon.
80 gigs of saved transactions from Pokemon Go.
Dr. Jessica.
That'd be so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that I never pre-ordered anything ever.
Yeah,
Period.
so from that, I'm like, I don't recommend it. And it's just always just because it's like, I mean, it's from T-Mobile. T-Mobile's website is just shit. Their app is shit. And it's just, I see people like YouTubers and stuff when they like, oh yeah, we're waking up early for iPhone launch day, that kind of stuff. And they wake up and it shows them like, oh man, it's 4 a.m. in New York, but the launch date's about to happen. Couple button taps. Okay, I got my phone. Goodbye. I'll see you in like 4 hours. And I'm like, it's not going to be that bad. Tap, tap, tap. It's not working. You know what? I don't care.
Yeah, that's exactly that's how I would treat it.
And then just fall back asleep. And I was just, I mean, it does make sense. I'm not the only one that woke up at like 6 to get the phone. And it's just like, yeah, it's just, you'd think websites would be built now to a point where it's like they can handle surges like that, especially for like launch day.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah, that's how we'll end it on your iPhone story.
On my sad iPhone story.
on your sad first world problems.
Yeah, it honestly really is. And I know that's why I was like, I'm not upset by it. And it's just like,
it's just one of those annoying things.
It's a total first world problem. And it's funny because my friend Chu got the iPhone. He got like the 12 right when it came out, like, or the 12 Pro when it came out. And it's like, dude, did you get yours? And I was telling him, he didn't know about the second half of the story. He just heard, I told him to the part where it was like, it got canceled. I'm just gonna have to wait for the Pro Max pre-order. So it's just like, I'm like, enjoy your phone extra for me. So,
but I wanted to give a shout out to our listeners. We have we've passed our 1,000 plays.
We owe everything to you guys. Thank you for giving us your ears.
That's what's up. That means that's 11,000. Whoa, 1,015 hours of time that people have been listening to us.
You guys want us to like eat in like not slow motion, but like an ASMR video.
Eat in slow motion.
I was watching this video the other day, and this YouTuber was like reacting to. There's ASMR videos of people eating. And there was like this video of this dude like eating noodles, like chow mein, and he had like the chopsticks and he was just sharpening them, and then his primitive was just like.
Not a fan of the ASMRs.
I screwed it. I pushed it forward to like see what else he was eating, and he had like chicken nuggets from McDonald's, and he was just like. And then putting in the sauce is like.
Yeah, I don't understand. Even like the ones that are like bubble wrap and all that. Don't understand any of it.
Yeah, I hate it. And I'm just like, it stresses me out that it's so loud. And I can hear it. It reminds me of the episode of King of the Hill where Bobby's on, they think he has ADD because he had all that sugar for breakfast. And he's just like, the ADD kicks in and it just zooms in on the fly and it's just like, and it just slow motion.
Yeah, that's exactly how it seems.
Yeah,
I know. We have a bunch of random listeners in random places, and I don't understand why. So we have some in Ireland, some in the UK, some in Sweden, some in Canada, some in Germany, some in Singapore, and we have a newcomer, India. So
hey,
ni hao.
Are you sad that you don't have PUBG anymore? because I heard PUBG recently got axed
They
from
shouldn't be
India.
sad because they have a person in India that's on 90 Day Fiance the other way. That's where Americans don't realize
India.
that they live in the greatest country and they go live somewhere else.
I actually wouldn't. I would like to visit India. Can
Well,
I couch
she's
surf?
moving there, Tony.
I don't know if I would want to. I don't know. I've heard it's a nice place from a couple of people that I've talked to that are like.
It's a nice place to live or visit.
It's a nice place to live. They're like, there's this one dude I talked to a long time ago.
He's
he
my
was
pen pal.
No, Jessica and me one time went to Florida and we went to Universal Studios and we got a free $100 gift card for the park. We just had to sit through like this bed and breakfast, not this bed and breakfast, this shit, what's it called? The vacation homes that you put money in with other people.
I know what you're talking about. The timeshares.
There you go, timeshares. But it was like through Hilton, and if you pay like, it was like $1,200 or something like that, with 12 other people, you can have a Hilton. It's like a Hilton penthouse type of room, and they're in every Hilton resort in like wherever Hiltons have resorts. It does make sense and it is cool, but it's just like, I don't travel enough, and it's like that's the best part.
I don't have that
you
kind of money.
You could rent it out to other people, and I'm like, you don't understand. I don't want this. I'm just here because you gave me $100, and I need to sit through this. But he was a Hindu dude, and he was telling me that he's like, he grew up there, and he's just like, it's a beautiful country. It's full of life and all this other stuff. People always talk about it like this really poverty, like malnourished everything, and he's like, don't get me wrong, it is there, but it's just like they have an old way of doing things where it's just like,
yeah, I don't imagine it's a bad place to live. I would just rather live in America where my biggest problem is pre-ordering an iPhone 12 Pro Max and it keeps getting fucking deleted.
And like, dude, I want to go visit for the Holly Festival. I want to photograph it. It's just like on my bucket list of things to photograph.
I'm afraid if I visit and I come back, I'm never gonna get the smell of curry out of my nose.
It depends on the curry. Curry's actually pretty good. I can't have it right now.
It's good. I'm just saying that I don't want to always smell it. Like, I don't want to deliver pizza because I want my car to smell like pizza.
Curry pizza.
Oh, ugh. That's how we'll leave you guys. Think about that. Curry pizza.
So thank you, our followers.
And stay tuned. We're going to start posting videos on the talk. So that's going to be exciting.
Yes.
But we'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay, goodbye.